You know, we've all heard that classic question, right? Would you like fries with that? But what if I told you that your answer has way less to do with how hungry you are and a whole lot more to do with the, say, 35,000 other decisions you've already made that day? Today, we're going to dive into the hidden world of the upsell and the surprising science that explains why it works so darn well.
So let's start with that number, 35,000. I mean, just think about that. According to researchers, that's roughly how many decisions the average adult makes every single day. From what to wear, which email to open first, to whether you should hit snooze, it's just this constant mental marathon from the second you wake up.
And honestly, does just hearing that number make you feel a little exhausted? I know it does for me. If you've ever gotten to the end of the day and felt like you just can't possibly make one more choice, yeah, you're not alone. And that exact feeling, that's what this is all about.
Okay, so let's take that feeling of being completely wiped out decision-wise, and let's see how it plays out in a really common scenario, usually when you're hungry and just trying to order some food.
You know the moment I'm talking about. You finally decided what you want, you place your order, and then you get the question, want to make that a large? Or how about we add a drink and make that a combo? It seems like such a simple offer, but this little question is actually our window into a really powerful psychological force.
So before we get into the cool brain science stuff, we have to talk about the money. Because for businesses, these little tiny questions have a huge impact on the bottom line.
Okay, just look at this example. Say you've got a coffee shop. If 100 customers come in and spend an average of $750, you've made $750. Not bad. But if you can just nudge that average up to $13, maybe by getting them to add a pastry or something, your sales jump to $1,300. That's a 73% jump in revenue. And you didn't need a single new customer to do it. That right there is the power of the upsell.
In the business world, they've got a couple of names for this. You'll hear suggestive selling, or the one we probably all know, upselling. It's basically the art of nudging you towards a more expensive item, an upgrade, or some kind of add-on.
But here's what's really interesting from the industry's perspective. The real goal isn't to be all pushy and annoying. As this quote puts it, when it's done right, it's supposed to feel like excellent customer service, not some sleazy way to milk an extra buck. They want it to feel like they're helping you out.
So, how does they actually pull this off? Well, it's not random at all. In fact, there's a whole playbook of carefully crafted techniques designed to get you to say yes. This list here breaks down some of the most effective little nudges. So, instead of asking, what size would you like? It's a simple, large. Instead of, do you want a muffin? It becomes, which muffin would you like today? It's a really subtle but incredibly powerful way of reframing the choice.
And that phrasing is absolutely everything. Staff are actually trained to use this positive, assumptive language. I mean, look at the difference here. Do you want any dessert is super easy to say no to, but which dessert did you decide on? Well, that kind of assumes you're already getting one, doesn't it?
You know, the strategy really begins before anyone even speaks to you. The menu itself is like a treasure map engineered to guide you. They know too many choices causes what's called paralysis by analysis, so they keep things simple. And those descriptive words, savory hickory smoked, or grandma's apple pie, they aren't just descriptions. They're designed to make you feel the food, to trigger an emotional response.
And today, technology basically puts this entire playbook on autopilot. Modern cash registers and point-of-sale systems are programmed with automatic prompts. You order a burger, and bam, the screen instantly tells the cashier to ask, add extra cheese, or make it a combo for just $2 more. It makes the whole process nearly automatic.
So, okay, we've got the business motive, and we've got the playbook of tactics. But that brings us to the biggest, most important question of all. Why is this stuff so incredibly effective on us? And the answer, it turns out, isn't really about business at all. It's about biology. It all comes back to that huge number we started with. 35,000 decisions a day, and what that relentless pace actually does to your brain.
Yeah, scientists have a name for this. It's called decision fatigue. And it's a pretty simple idea. Your ability to make good, sound choices gets worse and worse the more decisions you have to make. Think of your willpower like a muscle. If you keep working it all day long, eventually it's just going to get exhausted. All right, this is it. This is the crucial part. This is the moment where the seller's secret playbook meets our tired, overworked brain. This is the big aha moment.
So when your brain gets hit with decision fatigue, it starts to change how it works. It doesn't want to do any heavy lifting anymore. It becomes passive, it gets impulsive, it starts looking for any shortcut it can find, and most importantly, it just defaults to whatever the easiest option is. And here is where it all clicks into place. Look at this. The seller's tactics are perfectly engineered to take advantage of a tired brain. Suggesting a combo deal, that's the perfect mental shortcut. No more choices to make. Asking large, that presents an easy default option your brain can just say yes to. Asking which muffin, that lets your brain be passive and just pick between two good things. And all those delicious, mouth-watering menu descriptions, they appeal directly to your impulses, right when your rational brain is too exhausted to put up a fight. It's a perfect match.
So what do we do with all this information? Well, it's not about trying to fight back against every single upsell you ever encounter. It's really just about being aware of what's happening.
Look, this isn't about being cynical or distrusting the person behind the counter. A lot of the time, they're just following a script. The real takeaway here is to be mindful of your own mental state, to just be aware of how you're feeling, especially when you're making choices at the end of a long, tiring day.
So, the next time you find yourself at a counter, you're tired, you're hungry, and you hear that familiar question, just take a half a second and ask yourself, who is really making this decision right now? Is it really you, or is it just your fatigued brain looking for the easiest way out?